Hi folks, welcome to the Advanced Math Trigonometric Identities Homework Quiz C recap. In the recap, we're going to look at the homework question for Part C, homework quiz question for Part C. We're not going to do exactly that question. We're going to do one that's very, very similar so that you can see the approach. This means if you had trouble with the quiz, you can learn from this. If you haven't had a chance to do the quiz yet, this is not the quiz answer itself. It's just very similar to it. So we broke this quiz into two parts so that we have the potential for sort of generating partial credit if you can do one part or another. So the first part should correspond to the first question in the homework quiz. Says, let's just expand this expression, sine of x plus pi over 2. And to do that, we'll use the angle sum formula for sine. Sine of a plus b is sine of a cosine of b plus or minus cosine of a sine of b, or sine cosine cosine sine. So all we have to do is rewrite that and plugging in the arguments where they're supposed to be. So that would be sine of x, sine cosine, so cosine of pi over 2. Because the formula is plus or minus, if we have a plus here, we use a plus here. Plus sine cosine, cosine sine, so it's now reversed. Cosine of x, sine of pi over 2. That's it. So we've just taken x plus pi over 2 and sine and used the sine angle sum formula and rewritten it. Next, second part, question 2 on the quiz was to say, all right, suppose we've done that already, and we start with a different example so that you can't use the answer for this one as the answer to, or the question here as an answer for that. So these are two different questions. This is sine, this is cosine, this was plus, this is minus. Okay. So we did basically the same thing here, and we're showing you what the result of using the angle sum formula for cosine would be. So cosine of x minus pi over 2 becomes cosine cosine sine sine sine. So we take the sine that was negative here, change it to positive, because that's the way the angle sum and difference formula for cosine works. So it becomes cosine of x cosine of pi over 2 plus sine of x sine of pi over 2. Now we want to simplify that. Now the trick to simplifying this is to notice that cosine of pi over 2, if you look at your unit circle, cosine of pi over 2 is 0. So that blows away this entire side of the expression is 0 and doesn't matter at all. Sine of pi over 2, if you look at your unit circle, is 1. So that has no effect at all. The only thing that's left in all of this is sine of x. So it simplifies down to just plain old sine of x. And this is the answer up there. Okay? Okay.